Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's Most Elite podcast. This week we're doing Days Gone, and I have the video up. I put the video up. But there's not really much going on in the video. Like I beat the game already, and there's not much for me to do, except when you'll see it on my map. There are red dots. Those red dots are the hordes left out in the world. World map's pretty big. It's what you come to expect from a open world game like this. So those red dots are the hordes, and they're all over the map. You can fight them anytime in the game. You don't have to wait until you beat the game. I did because whatever. I just, open world games, man. When I play them, I tend to do everything in them, and after a while, it becomes pretty draining to have to constantly do everything. So I put it off until the end of the game where I felt like I had enough. Honestly, the reason I put it off is because I didn't have a light machine gun. You can get a light machine gun in this game, which is supposed to help. I find that it doesn't really matter. Like, if you get the Chicago typewriter and the extended magazine, you're good to go. Just buy all the bag ammo you can from excuse me for yawning. Buy all the bag ammo you can from the towns. Just and you'll be all right. You just shoot them up, extended magazine, and it's stronger than the LMG, which is weird. But that's the reason I put off doing the horde. So my map, I'll keep bringing it up during the course of the video, and it'll be red dots, and I'm just driving around. The hordes can appear in 3 different places. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself explaining what you're seeing. I'm just doing that because the video is kind of boring. I mean, I know I put these videos up for people who need something to accompany my voice. I mean, my voice is near perfect on its own, but for those of you out there who need a visual aid, I got you. But I don't want you to be bored. So this video is just me driving around the landscape looking for hordes to kill that I haven't killed yet. And then the video displays most of what you can do in the game. I craft in the video. Crafting's a big part of the game. I use my Witcher sense, I guess I'll call it, which is when you highlight objects of interest in the world around you. It's been used in games before The Witcher, like in Hitman Absolution and all that, but I just call it the Witcher sense because I guess that one made the most sense because you're a mutant and you got cool eyes and you can like track blood and track scents. You're a Witcher, so it makes sense that you're not a normal man just getting a full lay of the land, like you suddenly have eagle eye. I guess it kind of makes sense for Hitman 2 because it's called situational awareness and every human can have it, but not to the degree that's like but yeah, so I display everything in the video. I craft, I use my Witcher sense, I use most of the guns. I use the sidearm, I use the heavy machine gun, I use the regular machine gun, I do some melee, and I drive my bike. And honestly, that's all there is in this game. And I mean, I'm sure people work 80 years on this game to bring it out. It's a beautiful game. It looks great. But as people who watch my channel know, I sort of break games down to what they are. And this game is just running around, shooting, crafting, riding your bike. That's it. There's story in between you doing those things, but the objective of the game is those things. And if that sounds like something you want to do, you can go pick up Days Gone. I'm not a game reviewer, so I like the game, and I say that because it's not getting good reviews. Now, it's not getting shit on, but it's middling. That's the first time I had to use that word. It's getting middling reviews. It's sort of like it's a serviceable action game, but I've seen it before, right? And that's sort of I say that all the time on this channel. I've done it before. I want to do something else. One of my favorite videos, if you haven't watched it yet, it's called The Endless Cycle on my channel. Go and watch it. I talk about that sort of attitude that the critics have with this game and other games, I guess. The games that they don't cut a break, because this game is Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is The Witcher, Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They're all the same game. But those games got cut a break by the reviewers. They talk about how amazing they are, how fun they are. But there is nothing about this game that isn't those games. You know what I mean? It's the same game. There's an open world. There's question marks. You go from point A to point B. There's stuff in the middle driving your story. You can level up outside of the story. You have a movement option like the motorcycle or horses or Cars or whatever for your Watch Dogs or whatever, or ATV for Wildlands. All of these games are the same game. So this game didn't get cut a break. This falls into the category that I talk about in my other video where games, for some reason, some of them are let off the hook and praised for being amazing, and others that are really exact games are not. And I don't know. It's weird. It's sort of the same feeling I have for the superhero movies. But I did a whole video on that. Go check that out as well if you haven't, if you're new to the channel. But back to Days Gone. Yeah, you're just driving your bike. You're just shooting. And that's it. You know, you beat some zombies up. You beat some humans up. There's a lot of humans in this game to kill, which is really cool because unlike the zombies, they have minds. And they hunt you and they'll shoot at you. And they have guns. Zombies don't have long-range weapons. So you can fight them at your leisure. In the video, you'll see that I sort of just stand around, shoot them, roll, shoot them. And that's it. Humans can shoot me back. And that sort of changes the paradigm of battle. Obviously. But Days Gone, what is it? You play as a man named Deacon St. John. That was the longest intro I think I've ever done for a game. I apologize. So Days Gone. You play as a man named Deacon St. John. At the beginning of the game, Deacon and his brother Boozer are trying to escape a city that has become infested with these things, freaks. They call them freaks in the game. Freakers, freaks. They never use the word zombies. I guess because they're not zombies. As the game will tell you if you pick it up. No spoilers, maybe some spoilers. They're not zombies. That's a spoiler. They're definitely not zombies. So yeah, in the game, you and your brother Boozer in the beginning are trying to escape a city. Deacon's wife Sarah gets stabbed. So he and Boozer escort her to a chopper that is about to take off. A Nero chopper. They're like the FEMA of this world. And they put her on a chopper, and the guy says, well, I only have room for 2. But during the escape, Deacon's brother Boozer hurt his leg. So he put his wife on the chopper, asked where they were going, and said, I will find you. And then the game, the prologue ends. 2 years pass. No wife, just you and Boozer. It is presumed she is dead, obviously. I guess during that, Deacon developed a death wish. He does crazy, outlandish shit, like fighting hordes 1v1, burning nests wherever he comes across them, and just generally being a grumpy, ne'er-do-well dude. The story takes place in several parts. There are different storylines that all sync up with one another. You'll start one storyline and you'll encounter another, and by the end of one, you'll be at the end of the other. That is the pacing of the game. And it's well done. I mean, it's fine. I know some people wanted a cohesive sort of linear straight line story like The Last of Us gave us. The thing is, The Last of Us isn't an open world game. It is a linear story driven game with sandbox segments. It is not just a sandbox like Days Gone. Days Gone, you can go anywhere on the map with the exception of the south and north. They open up midpoints. You travel to them both, but during the middle of the game, you can go to both. So the story had to be designed to accommodate the fact that it's not a straight path. It is a giant experience in a sandbox. So I give it a pass the way the story is, because sometimes it can feel like it's all over the place. You know, you go help Big Mike, but then there's a little girl Lisa, and then she has her own storyline, but then there's your wife's storyline that you started at the beginning of the game, and when is that going to finish? They're all designed to finish at the end of the game. You're doing them all throughout the game. So I get why some people would be turned off by that. But it's an open world. What are you going to do? They did the best they could, I guess. And I do, for the most part, I agree with the reviewers. It's another open world game. Like, I play open world games a lot, and I play a lot of video games, and I'm not a video game reviewer. So, but I can understand some of their complaints. Like, if you're a reviewer and all you do is play video games, this game is nothing special. I mean, this game is nothing special, and I'm not a reviewer. I just play video games because I love video games. Like, I love movies and books. I love entertainment. So I try to digest all of it, and I built my opinions around how I feel at the end of it. And how I felt at the end of this was, you know, it's just another game. I really like it. I like it because I like zombie literature and stuff, like World War Z and all that shit. I like that shit. So this whole thing was really cool that you got to play and run. And there was a lot of harrowing moments in this game where I've been knocked off my bike, or I flipped off my bike and landed directly in front of a horde. And that shit's terrifying when you don't got weapons, or you don't got ammo, or excuse me for yawning, or you don't have stamina, like your stamina's not max, so you can't outrun them. They're gonna catch you, and if they catch you, you're dead. You know, you can't beat them if they swarm you. So I mean, there's a lot of moments to really enjoy in this game. I mean, without getting too deep into spoilers, you know, you unlock weapons. There's bandit camps that you can go and fight. Deacon is very vocal throughout the entire game, which is another thing that I'm glad games are starting to do, where they give the characters character instead of just being a mindless proxy for me to run around in a sandbox. He's his own man. When he attacks bandit camps, he talks shit. You know, he's like, "Oh, you like picking on people, huh? What if somebody shoots back?" You know, he's angry, and it speaks to the 2 years that we weren't with him during the prologue and when we get him. It speaks to that because something happened to him. Obviously, his wife died, but what else happened? He was attacked by bandits. He maybe did some attacking to innocent people. In the beginning of the game, you know, there's a reference that maybe he's not a good dude. You know, he and his brother Boozer are driving and there's a car in the road and they have to push it off. And he goes to tell them, look out for that car on the road. There may be rippers hiding behind it to ambush us. And he was like, why would they do that? And he begins to say, well, I did it. But he cuts himself off and says, well, I encountered it earlier this week. You know, he lies. He clearly lies. So, you know, it speaks volumes that he speaks a lot in this game about who he is and what he's become. He was already a badass biker. He was a biker. I'm sure he's beat up his share of dudes, fucked up his share of guys. But when the world went to shit like this, that part of him that he repressed for his wife came out in full force. He meets the world of violence with violence. And that's who he is. He doesn't let anybody in. He's distant with even his brother Boozer. He keeps to himself. And he's explosively violent when it comes to fighting. And that's really, really cool. That's a really good design. A character like that you would watch on a movie screen and be like, damn, who does that remind you of? It reminds you of John Wick. He don't let nobody in. He keeps to himself. But when it comes to fighting, he's explosively violent. And he seems to be the best at it. Right? Like, that's cool. We go out in droves to watch movies with a character like this. So I like Deacon. I think he's cool. The side characters are all interesting, and they all have their own story that you help them work through as you play, which is another cool thing. There's a lot of cool things in this game, and I do think it deserves to be played. You know, it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, and it does try to do a lot of things, and with anything that tries to do too much, it doesn't do any of them well, but it does try. And yeah, that's more than I can say for a lot of games. You know, a lot of games come out, and even this one, it give you what you've done already in terms of an open world. The open world design has been mastered at this point. Any open world game now probably is just going to be this exact thing. Big map, places to go. You don't have to do it in any fashion. You can do it how you want. It's sort of designed to give you control, and it works. So obviously, any open world game, you know, past a certain year is just going to be the same game. And what the hook will be is the gameplay loop. This gameplay loop is go beat up a bandit camp, go kill a ripper camp, fight some zombies, do a story mission. That's it. You just do that over and over and over again. Now you can collect collectibles in the world. There's these things called Nero checkpoints, but they're just more points on your map that you unlock by unlocking other points. So the Nero checkpoints are cool because you'll pick up a tape recorder and it'll give you coordinates to the next one, and so on and so forth. And you do that for the whole game until you've unlocked them all. And to do the Nero checkpoints, when you beat them, when you unlock them, because it's a big locked door every time, and to unlock it, you just gotta power a generator. There's a gas can somewhere, or find a spark plug. There's a spark plug somewhere, and then there's each Nero checkpoint has megaphones attached to the roofs. So when you power the station up, they start blaring, calling any monsters or anything to you in the vicinity. So all you gotta do, if you don't want that to happen, is shoot down the things or cut them down, and you'll be alright when you power it up. You go inside and collect the Nero injector. The injector can level up your stamina, health, or focus. Focus is when you aim, you can slow down time. Stamina is obviously how long you can run. Health is how many hits you can take before you die. And you can collect all those in the game. There's quite a few of them. They're all over the map. They're in part A of the game and part B. And that's really cool. It's an open world game, guys. You know, and I feel like this video has been in defense of it while also calling out its shortcomings. Its shortcomings is it's an open world game. and you really can't do much. Even Spider-Man, you swing around and you do side quests on the map. There's a main story here and there. You upgrade your suits by doing side things on the map. You upgrade your powers. In this, you upgrade your guns, you upgrade your stamina, you upgrade your health by doing the side points on the map. You just don't swing. You ride on a motorcycle. It's the exact game. You're just on the ground versus in the air. A human man versus Spider-Man. But it's the same. I want you to understand, for the people who keep, who don't give all these games their fair shake, you're playing the same game. Don't get it wrong. You are, in a sense, the same avatar throughout all of these open world experiences. Now, it's just how they're presented to you. That's it. So, I give this game the same shake I gave Spider-Man. It's a fun game. You ride around on your motorcycle and fuck zombies up. That's what it is. If that's something you're interested in, pick this game up. I mean, it's completely cool. There's some of the story stuff is cliche, but what are you going to do? I do have my gripe with it, though, and it's one of the same gripes I have with God of War. There's no jump button. There's an action button where you mantle or you can roll, things like that, but there is no jump, which you would think in the apocalypse you'd be jumping and climbing, and then you could get the fuck away from monsters. But what do I know? Also, just like in God of War, there are no costumes. I've done everything in the game except kill all the hordes. You wear 4 costumes throughout the story of this game. You see Biker Deacon, Casual Deacon, Army Deacon, Wounded Deacon. You can't select those costumes after you beat the game. I can't press pause, go to costumes, and select Wounded Deacon and play the rest of the game, or a New Game Plus. There's no New Game Plus either that I've seen, where you start over with your stuff. Stuff like that. I feel like at this point, it's par for the course. What's going on with my new games not having old shit? You know what I mean? I disagree with that. I disagree with it. But aside from those things that I don't like, this game's alright. If you like killing zombies, you like some somber music playing on your motorcycle ride, you like beating up humans, stabbing them to death, you have a knife, it's weaker than your melee weapons, but it does work. You can level it up later, make it a little bit stronger. Combos. There's a lot of power-ups. I think there's like 40 powers. There's powers. You become like a one-man army, like you do in these open world games. Spider-Man, you become a one-man army. You're already a one-man army. You're Spider-Man. But the point I'm making is you level up your powers and make yourself unbeatable. That's what you do in open world games, right? So there's nothing different here, guys. The only difference is the package. This one, you're a man. Spider-Man, you're a spider. Assassin's Creed, you're the latest one, you're like a demigod, which is cool. No fall damage. I'm glad they finally learned their lesson. Fuck that. But yeah, I mean, this game's awesome. I like it. I have my things that I disagree with, and I can't wait to see what else they do. Maybe they'll do some DLC where they add costumes or something. I don't know. Hope it's free, because I don't want to pay for it, because I've already paid for the game. You know how that is with DLC. But anyway, guys, Days Gone. Go pick it up. Go play it. It deserves your attention. There's a lot in it. There's wildlife that scampers about. There's infected animals, infected birds that attack you. Cougars, bears, infected bears called Ravagers that will dominate your life. One thing I really respect this game for is there is a skill in it. Before in this video, there's a skill where if you get grabbed, because you can get grabbed, and there's grab breaks in this game where he'll like push them off or stab them and roll backwards to reset the neutral. So basically, there's a skill in the game where if you get grabbed, you can instant kill the enemy that grabs you with a mini game. There's like a little bar that shows up and a line that goes around. If you press it on the exact gray part of the circle, you'll instant kill that enemy. I think the coolest thing about this game is it works on every enemy, even bosses. There's a point in the game where you have to fight a Ravager. Like, it shows up and it's really strong. It's like a bear, but has barbed wire and shit sticking out of it, and it'll fuck you up in like 2 hits, even if you have max health. So what happened is I just recently bought that skill, and I was like, well, I wonder if it works on the bear, the Ravager. So it grabbed me, and I did it. I did the minigame, and sure enough, I instant killed him. It was a boss fight. I never even heard him before. He just grabbed me. I did the move. He died. Cutscene played. I was like, oh, now that is cool. It didn't differentiate boss encounters to regular encounters. So even the boss encounters, if they grab you, you can KO them. You can one-hit KO them. That's fucking cool. And a lot of games don't do that. So I was really impressed with that. Also, I like sniping in my games. This game has a BFG, but it's in the form of a sniper rifle. Once I got it, I never took it off. I played with it the entire game until the end where I equipped the LMG so I could kill the hordes. But it is the best gun. It's undoubtedly the best gun. And yeah, it's fucking wicked. It one-shots most of if not all the regular enemies. And the brute enemies, it'll 2 or 3. The Ravager, 3 shots. There's an enemy in a game called the Reacher, who is basically an accelerated freak with hair and fur, and he runs 40 miles an hour. He will fuck you up. So, but with the sniper, 2-3 shots, good night. So that plus focus, they can't escape you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But just play the game. I mean, it deserves your time. It deserves your attention. It worked really hard on it. There's a lot of stuff in it that I didn't cover in this video. And I really hope you guys go and pick it up. All right, well, that's my time. I will be back with another video this week because I've been going for so long. It'll probably be fucking Devil May Cry or something. I don't care. But, all right, guys. Have a great one. Thank you for stopping in.